don't know Yetta Marcus Jaworski. She was a longtime member of our group. She and I joined the same year in 2003. And she was deeply committed to plants and the earth, and loved plants and the earth and people. And she put all those things together. And she was a big spirit, full of life, full of love. She was generous, she was funny, she was witty, she was wicked smart, and she knew how to figure out how to get things done. And she was tenacious, and when Christy told me she had gone all over looking for the tree, I'm like, that's Yetta's style. Yetta she wouldn't just settle for the first thing. She'd wait until it was the right thing. And Yetta used a lot of elderberries in some of her products, in her lip balms, and she made all kinds of, I think she made wine with elderberries in them. So this is very fitting for her. She was a long distance runner and an incredible herbalist that made a lot of cosmetics, but also teas and also a lot of wonderful things like that. And 8 years before she passed 2 years ago this week at age 59. And she had fought breast cancer 8 years. And the first round, 8 years before she died, which was 10 years ago, it looked like she beat it. And instead of feeling sorry for herself, she was like, I'm going to make body butters for women with lymphatic problems from breast cancer. And that started her whole cosmetic end of her herbalism. And she helped lots of women with lymphedema with her body butters and the ingredients in her body butters. And she was that super positive. She never wavered. She never felt sorry for herself. And she didn't see herself as a fighter, really. She was like, she felt like she was coexisting with it, and she felt like she was an infinite being and was just moving on to the next stage, and she was really comfortable with that. And she was very graceful even in the final months and didn't let any of us know how close to death she was. We were all shocked, even her sisters and brother. So she was strong and she loved so many people in this group, and so it felt fitting to honor her. She was buried in New York. She's from Long Island. I believe she was buried in their plot in Queens, in a Jewish cemetery. She was named after her grandmother, and there was a plot next to her grandmother, and that's where they buried her. So there's two Yettas buried together in New York, two Yetta Marcuses. And so it was my honor and joy to know her. I loved making products with her. She was very ingenious. There were lots of things she came up with that helped me and made me grow as an herbalist, even though we were in very different directions with our herbs, and we had a blast with them. And any of you that went to her house or saw pictures from her house, she didn't grow little rosemary bushes. She grew 9-foot long rosemary bushes. She grew lavender on salt islets of Indian Rocks Beach that was 4 foot high. She grew African basil that one day she said, I was stopping something off, and she said, would you like a bough of the basil before you leave? And she literally came out through the gate holding a bough that was like 4 foot long for me. She was like, it was the smallest one.
I love when you wrote in the email that you sent me about her, you said she was breaking all the rules because it's unheard of to be able to grow all of those things that close to the salt
She
water.
grew a lot of them. Yeah, she had a yarrow bed that was incomparable. It must have had 100 yarrow plants. It made me like just melt every time I saw it. You know, everything she touched herbal-wise, and she made a lot of things to help people. She helped a lot of people, and her family was helped by her herbs. That wasn't her main vocation. She was a wicked smart IT, really, I think, management person for AT&T for many years. And in her last year before she retired because of her illness, she got called back to upstate New York, and she was a lineman, and she had to climb all the telephone poles because she had never done it, but there was a strike, and she was like, they called me and I'm going to do it. And so I have pictures of her way up high, and she loved it, and she said, America's in rough shape. We need everything to be put underground, and almost everything is above ground. But she did that for a while, and she was very fierce. She was fierce and strong, but loving and sweet and generous, and everyone has a beautiful story. One of our former members, Carol Lorimer, said every time Yetta talked to you, you felt like you were the only person in the room, and that she really cared about what you thought. Now, how much better does that get as being a human? I mean, to me, you've succeeded in life if you make people feel that way. So she did that everywhere she went, and so we're here to celebrate her life today. And when she was buried, they had a poem for her funeral that's really beautiful, an epitaph, and Christy's going to read it. And then after she reads it, I'm going to teach you a very tiny song, and I'll sing it, and then you can sing it with me.
Sounds great.
Okay, come over here.
Yeah, come on over here.
So this poem was read at Yetta's funeral, the epitaph. It's by Marriott Alloy. It says, when I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother, walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved, and if you cannot give me away, at least let me live on your eyes and not on your mind. You can love me most by letting hands touch hands, by letting bodies touch bodies, and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when that's all that's left of me is love, give me away, I'll see you at home in the earth. And I don't really have one specific memory of Yetta, but the biggest memory or the biggest presence of her is she just had an amazing presence herself, and when she came in the room, you could feel that love, that good energy. And Linda was right, when she spoke to you, there could have been 100 people there, but you just knew she was speaking to you, and that's a beautiful gift to embody within oneself.
She could walk in many rooms. She could walk between many peoples and many kinds of peoples in many rooms and be comfortable everywhere she went. Yeah. Anne, do you have anything you want to add about Yetta?
I agree. Yetta was definitely a wonderful herbalist. She had this spirit, herbs just lit her up. Herbs were like her special secret talent that I wonder if people that she worked with even knew, like the immensity of her love of herbs. My best memory is her always being there at the meetings and always being a kind, friendly face, teaching us about the herbs. And her garden, of course, was amazing. She gave me, she had, like you said, a ton of yarrow, and I had never seen yarrow before, fresh growing anywhere at all before, like in the ground. And she's like, here, help yourself, take all you want, it's going everywhere. She gave me the most beautiful yarrow, and I took it home and I loved it, and it was amazing. I miss it. And her olive tree, and what else? She had didn't she have vanilla beans growing over top
speak about that.
right by her pool, right by the water, the salt water, on a pergola. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And she was just a kind, sharing, loving person, and we definitely miss her.
She grew the vanilla beans, and she pollinated them herself with a brush or Q-tip, and got them to pollinate, and then she cured them and taught me how to make vanilla extract. She knew how to grow olives. Her olive tree looked, I used to tease her, I was like, you took this one from Israel and it's like 100 years old. She's like, yeah, I know, like they're not going to ever figure out why it's on Indian Rocks Beach, but she took those olives and she cured those olives and figured out the process, because you can't eat olives off a tree, you have to know how to cure them. And what else did she make that was amazing? I mean, everything she made was really amazing, and everything she grew, but her pergola was, the vanilla orchids were about 20 feet long, each one of the tendrils. So I don't know if they're still growing in the wild over there or not. Her rosemary was always 3 foot high and always in bloom. I've never been to her house when it wasn't in bloom. I'm like, rosemary blooms usually 6 years. She's like, mine blooms on the beach all year. So she was an amazing herbalist. She talked to the plants, and she did love herbs, and they did light her up like that. So she and I had an interesting kinship. We joined the Herb Society the same year, and we joined an organic co-op on the beach the same year. And we looked a lot alike back then. We still kind of do, but I didn't realize it. And one day I was in line to get all my produce, and the owner's husband came up and said, "Yetta, you were already here. What are you doing?" So everywhere we went, people thought we were sisters, and she actually inducted me into the Marcus family and called her siblings, and they adopted me after I lost mine. And so I'm officially official Marcus sister of Yetta's. And we did our DNA together because we were like, there's got to be like great grandmothers that crossed that were sitting at the same table of us. So, you know, we did have a lot of shared DNA. But
I thought y'all were sisters for a while, and then I would get y'all confused.
Everyone
One
did.
would, if you were here and she wasn't, or vice versa, I would get y'all
people
confused.
come up and be like, "Why'd you change your clothes?" She didn't put purple in her hair. That's how I started distinguishing myself from my twin. And the last time she and I ate out a few summers ago, we came out of the restaurant and a couple in a car pulled up and said, "It must be lovely to be twins." And we just giggled and said, "It is." So she was one of a kind, and I miss her every day, and I know her family misses her every day, but we can celebrate her every day as well. And she will live on in the Herb Society's memory. So we dedicate this elderberry tree that Christy lovingly hand-picked out. We dedicate to Yetta. May it flourish, may it bring the earth goodness, and may it have berries that we can make remedies out of.
And I could share that today while digging this hole to put this in the earth, there was the feather. So I do feel like she's here with us today, and this is because we can't plant the olive tree. We're just going to throw a few olives in there. I want to sing. You want to sing the song?
I do. I just want to say I'm putting in rosemary because rosemary is the herb of remembrance. When you want to remember someone who's passed, rosemary is there. And then this is a strand of lemongrass from her garden. And I'm going to sing a song, and then I'll let you all sing it after me. I just want to say one more thing. I was growing oyster mushrooms, and you can get a second round of them by adding coffee grinds to the box after they bloom. And when I showed her that, I love what she said. I've never forgotten it. She said, "I'm suitably impressed by this miracle."
That's her.
Substrate coffee.
That's
She's like,
her.
"I'm suitably impressed by this miracle."
That's
So
her.
Yetta, this elderberry is for you. And Yetta knew this song. I taught her this. It goes like this. It goes, "Listen, listen, listen to my heart's song." We sing that twice. "I will never forget you, I will never forsake you. I will never forget you, I will never forsake you." And then listen, listen, listen to my heart's song. And it goes like this. "Listen, listen, listen to my heart's song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart's song. I will never forget you, I will never forsake you. I will never forget you, I will never forsake you. Listen, listen, listen to my heart's song." Here we go. "Listen, listen, listen to my heart's song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart's song. I will never forget you, I will never forsake you. I will never forget you, I will never forsake you. Listen, listen, listen to my heart's song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart's song. I'll never forget you, I will never forsake you. I'll never forget you, I'll never forsake you. Listen, listen, listen to my heart's song." It ends like this. To my heart's song, to my heart's song, to my heart's song. It's for you, Yetta.
Yay!
Get a picture of it.
Beautiful.
I know, babe, I think we're all good, but we will take that back with us.
Around the trees, you guys mind?
I can.
Thank you.